6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got audio. Hey, can you give me more audio, please? All right, that's good. Yo, where's the 26, 2020. Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live from Columbia, South Carolina, where in a moment, Jamie Harrison will begin his Get Out the Vote rally here on the campus of Benedict College. Coming up, I'll talk with the president of Benedict College about, first of all, this election, also how they're operating in this world of coronavirus. Also, we'll hear from the mayor of this city, Steve Benjamin. He'll join us, as well as Senator-elect Jamie Harrison. Folks, we have a jam-packed show for you as we're broadcasting live at this drive-in rally here in South Carolina. It's time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
Hey, folks, Roland Martin here. I'm broadcasting live from Columbia, South Carolina, the campus of Benedict College, where, of course, Jamie Harrison is having a Get Out the Vote drive-in rally today. Folks, there are a number of cars that are parked out here. You actually see the cars are still coming in, and so they're in their cars, a social distance rally. And so they're actually, this is the outside of the stadium. So you'll see the shot right here that we're going to give you, the shot, again, as these cars are coming in. And so this is where we are. Then, of course, right behind me is the actual stage here. You'll see right here, of course, where Jamie Harrison will be speaking. Also, Common is going to be performing as well. We were just with him in Orlando on Saturday for the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition for their Get Out the Vote rally. They had 27 all across Florida and 13 other states. We are 8 days away from Election Day. All the candidates are putting lots of attention and pressure out here, folks, when it comes to this election. How critical is South Carolina? Republicans are literally sending Vice President Mike Pence here tomorrow to help out Senator Lindsey Graham, who is in a tough race. Jamie Harrison has broken all sorts of records, raising more than $100 million, setting a record when it comes to a U.S. Senate race. And so we'll be chatting with him just a little bit. We'll also be talking with Meg Kinnard, who is, of course, covers politics for the Associated Press. She knows this state very well. But right now, we want to talk with the president of Benedict College, Dr. Rosalind Artis. How you doing, Doc?
I'm well, Benedict.
Benedict, okay. So, all right, got to be, Benedict, okay. So first and foremost, how are y'all, first of all, before we get to this, how are y'all handling coronavirus? Are your students online? Are they on campus?
Our students are on campus, Roland. We've got about a third of our student population living on the campus in a socially distanced campus experience. We have a 1.4% infection rate. Benedict College has handled this excellently.
And so when you talk about that infection rate, so do you have it set up where students are quarantined in terms of, or you're like, no, y'all got to go back home?
No, Benedict College has quarantine capacity. We have identified two separate buildings, one for male, one for female. We did universal testing on the campus. We tested 100% of our student, staff, and faculty at the beginning of the semester, about 10-15% randomly every single week, and at midterm we tested 100% again. So our infection rate is an actual infection rate, not a figment of our not testing.
Now, of course, we're in the middle of this whole election season, and so folks have been going all around this state. Common was with earlier today in Allen University, speaking to students there. He's going to be performing here as well. What has been the mood on this campus? I mean, South Carolina has never had this much attention in a presidential race, but a U.S. Senate race, for it to be this tight between Jamie Harrison and Senator Lindsey Graham.
So Benedict College students are HBCU students. That means they're connected, they're engaged, they're listening, they're paying attention, they're watching, and they're voting. So we are in play, very much in play in South Carolina.
Now, is there a early voting location on campus, or
we are a precinct? Benedict College is a voting precinct.
Well, that's a good thing. That certainly makes it easy for them as well. How has it also been, as you've been living here, seeing this, the level of attention the level of focus. I mean, the ads have been just constant, nonstop on television here in South Carolina.
That's true.
But just talk about how this has been, and from your perspective, are you seeing African Americans really energized at a level probably not seen this way since 2008?
Actually, ever. I will tell you that the lines outside of the early voting locations, there are 6 satellite sites located around Richland County. The lines are around corners and down the block at 8 o'clock in the morning. People are engaged. They're ready for this election, and they are voting in record numbers. I think post-election, we're going to look back and think this was the most participatory election the country has seen in generations.
Well, look, I think a lot of folks certainly can't wait for this election to be over. It has, though, been exciting. And it's actually pretty cool to see all these folks out here again with this. I mean, this is like old school. Talking about those drive-in movies. They have a drive-in political rally.
Listen, we improvise at Benedict College. We are the HBCU that put the BC in HBCU, and that means black college, and that means black people, and that means voters.
Just so y'all know, she tried to get me to sit here and wear one of the shirts, but I got to support my Black Voters Matter people. Because see, then if I wear the Benedict shirt, the other HBCUs can be like, "Where's our shirt?" So you know,
they would be jealous.
No, but here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal. I only wear HBCU gear on campuses where I've actually spoken. I've never spoken at Benedict. I'm just saying.
Now you shouldn't have told me that, Roland.
I'm just saying.
You shouldn't have told me that.
I'm just saying.
You shouldn't have told me that.
I did a South Carolina
May
State
9th,
commencement.
2021, so I should lock you in?
Lock me in.
Lock you in?
Lock a brother in.
All right.
I mean, I've had some other colleges like, "Why you wearing our stuff?" I'm like, "I ain't never been to your school."
Oh, no, I can do better than that. You're going to come here, you're going to speak here, you're going to graduate from here.
But of course, you used to be the president of Florida Memorial.
I did.
And that was the first commencement that I ever gave, was at Florida Memorial.
All right, we have history then.
So there we go. All right, Dr. Artist, we certainly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you so very much. Looking forward to this taking place. Now, they're in cars, but what about your students? If they come out here, where are they going to be?
So we have some people transporting students over. Our students will be around the back perimeter and all over this stadium.
Okay.
You've seen a number of our staff and faculty walking around. Benedict is ever present.
All right, then. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. I'll just sit down right there. All right, folks, as I said, we're here. The rally is supposed to start at 6:30, but what we're doing, of course, I'm going to be talking to very various people on today's show. In about 30 minutes, we'll be talking with Steve Benjamin. He is the mayor of Columbia, South Carolina. He'll be joining us as well. And again, we'll also be talking with Jamie Harrison, who wants to be the next United States Senator from South Carolina. He wants to be second African American. Of course, Senator Tim Scott, Republican. He, of course, is he's a Republican, but also a U.S. Senator from South Carolina. And so many different things that have been going on, folks. Do understand, we're here today. Tomorrow we're going to be in Atlanta. Reverend Raphael Warnock, who's running for the United States Senate in Georgia, will be joining him tomorrow. Also, of course, we will be in Detroit interviewing Senator Gary Peters on Wednesday, and then back in D.C., and then on Sunday we'll be at a GOTV rally for Mike Espy, who's running for the United States Senate there in Mississippi. Folks, the election season is hot and heavy. Ads are very intense. You see so many different people who are trying to get out the vote. Early voting, of course, is happening all across this country. There have been record-breaking numbers everywhere, all across the country, especially in Texas. But in Georgia, we're seeing it. In North Carolina, we're seeing it. We're seeing, again, some major numbers that are coming out. Folks are sitting here. Again, it's so funny. Folks are sitting here hitting me saying, "Can you come to our state?" We were in North Carolina last week. But look, we can't be everywhere, but we're trying to do so. As you see, I'm rocking the Black Voters Matter shirt. Then also, Let My People Vote, this hat right here. This weekend, we were in Orlando, broadcasting from Orlando, live streaming from the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. And so I want to give you guys a sense of what took place on Saturday in Orlando, outside of the Amway Center. So, folks, if you got it ready, roll it.
This is what democracy looks like.
The power of voting is powerful, and one vote does make a difference.
Your vote does matter, and we need free voice so that we can put in place the leaders that will represent our interests.
It's my time right now, y'all. I'm about
go in and vote in my very first presidential election. And listen, if you're a returning citizen, and you get ready to vote, I need you to come up here with me. If you are a returning citizen.
Look at the effort that is being put into stopping returning citizens from voting. Everyone in the country knows how important your voice is and your vote is. And so you have the power to elect the people that you want to see in office.
Every time I see the tree where my great-grandfather was lynched, every time I see the land and the property that was stolen, along with other descendants of Okoye, I'm reminded how important it is to vote and that vote can make a difference.
Today was my first time voting in a presidential election in my life. We all know in the state of Florida, seeing more juveniles to adult prison than any other state. At the age of 15, I was charged for armed robbery and sent to adult prison for my first offense. And I lost my voting rights before I even had them.
So what should we call it? Blood on the knees in a column. The way this show hit me, it hurts under me. Don't be seen like we got in the party. How we keep on falling.
So I don't want to hear nobody talking about, man, our vote don't count. I don't want to hear that. Because it's been counting. And it's going to count even more if you step up, if we all step up. And that count ain't gonna just happen overnight. That count ain't happening overnight. It's been hundreds of years of oppression and systemic racism. It's gonna take us time to break this down. We destroy and we build. But right now, we build it on the shoulders of those that came before us. So not only do I honor them, but I also look at this as a mission that we get to show glory for one another and glory for the Most High. This is a story of glory.
Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man.
All right, folks, welcome back. Temperature's dropping, so I had to put the hoodie on because once that sun goes down, it's going to be a little cool. All right, folks, that's my next guest. You've seen her on the show many times. She knows this state inside and out. She's been traveling all across it, reporting here for years, and she has the best insight of what's happening here in South Carolina. Meg Kinnard, she covers national politics for Associated Press out of South Carolina. Meg, what's happening?
Good to be back with you.
All right, so this has been wild. You probably have not seen this much attention on South Carolina in a presidential election year in a long time.
It is very different feeling around here during the general election. You know, the primary, everybody's here. We have all the candidates coming through, but not so much during the general election. This year is different. It's 2020, so, you know, we always knew to expect the unexpected, but it has absolutely been all eyes on South Carolina for the last couple of months, as we've talked about, and here we are in the final stretch.
Talk about the record-breaking numbers that have actually taken place. Jamie Harrison raising $100 million plus and still raising money every single day.
That's right. He's breaking all the records, more than $100 million brought in this campaign. We've never seen that for any Senate candidate anywhere. Continuing to raise the money, he said today that he feels confident he's going to have plenty of money to bring it in on home through the final stretch, running all those ads we've seen on TV, running all the ads we've seen on YouTube and all of our digital media. He's got this bus up here behind us. They're going to be doing more events over the next week. So, yeah, he's continuing to bring in that money. And also here in South Carolina, we're seeing record numbers of people voting early. So, again, there's a lot of excitement out there.
First, to know how serious this is, we saw Lindsey Graham essentially begging for money during the hearings of Amy Coney Barrett. Many people, he's been whining and complaining, but other Republican groups, Mitch McConnell's group, other Republicans, they have rushed in, dropping $20, $30 million, trying to shore up his support in this state. Explain why. What's the difference this year if this race is so tight?
Republicans are certainly dumping the money in. Again, all those groups you mentioned, and Senator Graham in his own right has broken records for Republican Senate candidates in terms of quarterly fundraising. So he's done a lot on his own part. But yes, he's in the leadership. He's the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He's been in office for 3 terms. He is a close ally of President Trump. For all of those reasons, Republicans nationally and also the Republicans here in South Carolina want to see him continue to occupy that seat because it is a powerful one, and he has the president's ear, at least right now.
Now, this is somebody who was very close to Senator John McCain. Folks often talked about their independent streak. As you've been talking to South Carolina voters, are folks in this state angry that he has been so aligned with Donald Trump, considering he once called him a kook, once said he was going to destroy the Republican Party?
There are some folks who say they don't understand that mentality. They don't understand the Lindsey Graham that they knew in 2016 and the one they see now golfing with the president, advocating for legislative issues on his behalf. But some of the Republicans I talked to and the folks who are also close to Senator Graham tell me, look, he sees the president as someone in power and is going to do a good job, at least in what he sees as a good job, of advocating for the best position for his constituents. So why wouldn't he try to become close to the president and try to get in a close position where he could try to get through some of his legislative goals?
Now, black turnout. You talked about early voting being very strong during the primary. South Carolina saved Joe Biden's ass. Without South Carolina, there's no Joe Biden, who is the Democratic nominee for president. More people voted in the Democratic primary this year they did when Obama ran in 2008. Have we seen a dramatic increase in black voter registration and black turnout? And what are the Harrison people saying? Are they saying they need 85, 90% of black turnout in order to put him over the top and also pick up the white votes he expects to get as well?
The Harrison campaign isn't getting into those numbers, but they are very cognizant of the fact they are going to need strong support among black voters in South Carolina, as well as some of those crossover voters, the white voters or white Republican voters who might be disenfranchised with the Trump administration and therefore maybe Senator Graham to come over to their side. But in terms of voter registration and voter turnout, we are on track to break all kinds of records in terms of who's coming out to the polls now. I drove by a satellite voting location in my neighborhood earlier today, and that line just in the middle of the day, not right when it opened, was around the block, several hundred people waiting in line. We're not even close to election day yet. There's still plenty of days to come, and these are already people who want to make sure to get their vote in. It's going to be a long night probably counting all of these votes, but people are certainly out there and they want to cast them now.
Well, there's a massive amount of intensity all across the country. And so we certainly be paying attention to what happens over the next 8 days. And, of course, this should be a pretty interesting event here tonight. Common performed in Orlando on Saturday, so I expect him to put on another equally great show. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. It's going to be a beautiful night out here, so it looks like we're going to have a good time.
All right. Meg, always good to see you. Thanks a bunch.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, folks. We're going to sit here. Of course, we're talking about this election. What I want to do right now is introduce my panel. Joining me right now is Avis Jones-DeWeaver, leadership strategist. She joins us right now. Also, Eugene Craig, organization. He's CEO. We're certainly glad to have him as well. And then Dr. Julian Malvo, President Emerita, Benedict College. Eugene, I want to start with you again. Look, for Republicans, they are desperate to hold onto this seat. They are shocked and stunned to see how well Jamie Harrison has been doing, raising money. Of course, Lindsey Graham has been whining and complaining, saying all this money from the outside because they hate Lindsey Graham. And people are like, yeah, actually, we do.
Yeah, look, the thing is this. Jamie's already won. And he's won because he's forcing Republicans to literally spend money in South Carolina, which is unheard of. That means that money's not going to Iowa. That money's not going to Georgia. That money's not going, to Arizona, to critical battleground races. And so, with that, Jamie's already won. Now, if he wins, that's just a cherry on top. And it pops a powerful committee chairman. I mean, Lindsey Graham's no, peon in a sense. I mean, the guy's been around 20 years, was a House member before that, and is, chair of one of the four standing committees. So I think that, this is huge. It's beyond huge.
Avis, again, what is happening out here, there is a level of intensity we have not seen Texas, they expect to break the all-time voting record there. Significant number of first-time voters, young people as well. Folks are pissed off with Donald Trump. They're pissed off with Republicans. Republicans are desperate to hold on to power as well. This is going to be all about turnout, turnout, turnout.
It absolutely is. And what's particularly ironic and interesting to me is that we hear a lot from the Republicans about this so-called silent majority. I think they're going to determine on November 3rd that the real silent majority are all of these awakened voters that they have energized to come out. People who could have voted but didn't vote last time. People who are infrequent voters but know what's on the line with this election. The real silent majority has truly been wakened up, and I will tell you they're going to carry the day on Election Day.
Dr. Malvo, HBCU is going to be critical. Of course, as I said, Common was at Allen University. He was at Benedict today. It's happening all across. There's going to be events tomorrow at Clark, Atlanta, where we're going to be tomorrow as well. Again, this is about turnout. This is about driving folks in here in South Carolina State, and others. Claflin, you name it. They want to push those students to the polls and push those African Americans in those cities to the polls.
And HBCUs do play a key role. We had nearly 100% turnout of our students at Bennett in 2008 and again in 2012 for President Obama. So I expect we had political science professors who were encouraging students to vote, who were talking about voting in their classes, and I expect the same thing to happen. The other thing is that Donald Trump doesn't tell the truth, and people are, well, that's not new information, but in terms of HBCU, He doesn't tell the truth. He's given all this money to HBCUs. What all this money? In addition, the Department of Education budget has dropped by almost 15% since he's been president. And what that means is that there's less money. There may be more money in one program, but less in another. So we know that Biden-Harris, that Biden-Harris will put more money in there, may provide student loan relief. And, a lot of our students, many of the HBCU students are first generation, have five-figure loan balances. So, students understand, but it doesn't hurt if their president or the president of the student union also encourages them.
All right, folks, right now, joining us on Rolling Unfiltered is Ashley Allison. She's the National Coalition Director and a Biden surrogate. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm doing well. 8 days.
All right, thanks, Charlamagne.
All right, folks. Now, hold up, Ashley. What you just heard, Charlamagne the God was just introducing the mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, Steve Benjamin. Ashley, these events like this are critically important. Having these drive-in rallies all across the country, we're seeing the intensity. You hear the horns as well. Walk us through the closing plan over the next 8 days for the Biden-Harris campaign.
We are going to you're going to see Vice President Biden, Senator Harris, Dr. Biden, Doug, and many surrogates hitting the campaign trail, traveling to all different types of battleground states and states where you have competitive Senate races, making sure they make the case to Black voters and voters in general about what is at stake. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We had an amazing early vote weekend. We just saw we had strolls to the polls, souls to the polls, activities and concerts at early voting locations, and we're excited to see what the numbers show. We've seen historical turnout already. We are not going to take one vote for granted. We're going to talk to as many voters as possible in every city and every state and let them know that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the best choice for them, and we have to get it done on November 3rd.
Arm in arm.
Obviously, African American support is hugely critical. Black women have been fired up, ready to go. Majority of Black men as well. But over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a level of intensity focused on Black men. Again, what specifically is happening with the campaign to drive the message home to African Americans in terms of what are you doing? Lots of Black radio? Are you, candidates when it comes to doing these various interviews? What are the things that are happening?
We have done programming all summer. The DNC has been doing program really since 2016, reaching out to Black men, letting them know what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will do for them. We have tonight, we have our Make It Happen Monday series that talks about economic opportunities. We've done shop talks. We just had a shop talk with Common in Florida yesterday. We'll have more activities like that. We'll have concerts throughout the rest of the week. We're on radio and Black radio and local newspapers doing shows like yours, Roland, as well as meeting voters where there are, being on digital platforms, making sure we're having conversations with folks. So we are being aggressive, and we also have a ground game. We're making phone calls, we're doing texting, we're doing canvassing, even in a COVID safe way. So we're talking directly to voters, talking specifically to Black men, letting them know that there's an economic plan, there's a plan for criminal justice, there's a plan to get this economy back on track, and there's a plan to make to improve the quality of their lives in the Biden-Harris administration.
Obviously, when you look at the messaging today on Fox News, Jared Kushner made some comments questioning whether Black people want to be successful. That's certainly it has to be a boon to the Biden-Harris campaign to counter.
As Jamie said, this bald-headed.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Nothing surprises me that comes out of this administration. Donald Trump has had no plan for the Black community. He touts and says offensive things like he's the least racist person when there's a woman of color moderating the debate. And then his son-in-law says offensive remarks. It's not even sometimes worth acknowledging, but voters need to know, and voters should not be surprised. This is who Donald Trump has been his whole life. He has put a bounty on the exonerated 5. He has wanted to discriminate against people of color and Black folks when they wanted to rent for him. This is him. This is who he is. He is a bigot. He is a homophobic. He is a racist, and he does not have a plan for Black America.
And we're going to be ready. We're going to have fun.
One of the things you talk about in terms of the economic issues, that obviously something that's important to African Americans. We've seen this all the talk about, the Trump so-called platinum plan. I call it the aluminum foil plan. I've heard others who say that the Lift Every Voice plan is not Black specific enough. It's 22 pages, and so making the argument, going out there and making the argument, how else is that happening? Is there going to be an increase in ads? An increase in direct targeting of Black radio, and so how are you going to drive that? Because again, you have different celebrities, you have people who are commenting, 50 Cent, John Sally, Ice Cube as well, who have lots of following, and so how are you going to make inroads there to really try to bring that home in the closing days?
Well, just to talk a little bit about our plan. The Vice President, Senator Harris, has a plan for HBCUs. I mean, Senator Harris is an HBCU graduate, so her commitment is clear. She's a member of the Divine Nine, so her commitment to the Black community, she's a Black woman. And so she is committed to the Vice President, has laid out a clear economic plan around if you are a first-time home owner or want to purchase a home, you get a $15,000 tax credit, creating opportunities for Black-owned businesses, especially in this middle of this pandemic when so many small businesses are closing, talking about reforming the criminal justice system and policing reform, whether it's decriminalizing marijuana and expunging records. We have a plan for Black America, but here's the thing that's different with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris versus the Trump administration. When they are elected, you will be able to hold them accountable. I run the coalitions department, and our whole purpose is to make sure folks know that they have a seat at the table and a voice in this in an administration, in a Biden-Harris administration. So if they are lucky enough to be elected, and we're going to work so hard reaching out to voters on radio, on TV, on their front doors, making sure they know what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will do for them, Black people will be able to come into that White House and have a conversation with both of them and let them know what they need. And the thing about Joe Biden's leadership and Kamala Harris's leadership is that they listen, they're empathetic, they're compassionate, and they have a track record to prove it.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us, breaking this down. Also, we look forward to having Vice President Biden or Senator Kamala Harris on this show in the next 8 days, because you're absolutely right. We got to get the message out there, speaking to the very issues for the people who are still there. People, I don't believe there are people who are undecided in terms of who they're going to vote for. I think they're undecided as to whether or not going to vote, and that right there is the real issue.
And we're going to make sure that we do everything we can to motivate them. So seeing the record turnout already, we're going to keep pushing, run through the finish line, not pay attention to the polls, and talk directly to the voters. And thanks for having me, Roland.
All right, Ashley Allison, we surely appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
has yet
All right, then. All right, folks, right now, I want to go to the man who's the mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, Mayor Steve Benjamin. Mayor Benjamin, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Roland. Glad to be with you, brother.
Give us a sense of how things have been going in this city. There is intensity all across this country. Are we seeing the same level of intensity at the polls here in South Carolina?
Absolutely. Record lines, record turnout, early vote, absentee vote. Honestly, probably the best way to get people to show up is to think you're going to try to take it from them. Folks are showing up strong. I was at the polls on Saturday. Hundreds of voters showing up at our main office here in Columbia, and we're seeing that all across the state. Record turnout. Yeah.
One of the things that, again, in this state, people are very surprised how well Jamie Harrison is running against Lindsey Graham. The amount of money he's raised at this race is this close. It is airtight, going down to the wire. Why? What is the difference this cycle?
Jamie has run an excellent campaign that focuses on the positives, the hopes and dreams. The story of the African seed and the American son is unique. But Jamie has a uniquely American life. Hardworking, always giving back. And the fact that I think being Lindsey Graham doesn't hurt to have him as an opponent. People are so irritated and frustrated with his constant efforts to try and not only suppress the vote, but also suppress what we see as what America should be. Jamie, he struck that chord. He's run an incredibly organized campaign that, again, inspires people as opposed to trying to inspire fear in people, as the president does regularly.
One of the things that Reverend Jackson has talked about for years, having 250,000 or 300,000 or more unregistered African Americans in this state. Has that, have y'all been chipping away at that? And how have you been making the case to get those folks to actually get registered and to vote? And is it happening this year finally?
That's one of the major keys to victory. Every conversation I've had with Reverend Jackson, the son of South Carolina, he tells me that same exact thing. Every conversation we've had the last 25 years or so. Over 1 million African American voters registered, and you're seeing a surgical effort with an incredible amount of resources working to turn people out. We won't be denied. People are going to show up, they're going to show out, and make sure that all of our voices are heard.
Now, it's very interesting. Mike Pence is going to be here tomorrow. The Trump campaign, they believe in having these huge rallies, having folks packed in. We're looking out here, and we'll see this. We have the shot out here. All these folks in this sort of driving rally. Isn't this also about how the Biden campaign is trying to live out the reality that we're dealing with in pandemic? As opposed to ignoring it like it doesn't exist, they're like, no, this is what you have to do in a pandemic.
The greatest pandemic in 100 years, greatest economic disruption since 1932, an election year, and social unrest around police violence in 50 years. The goal here is to show people that our one true north is the preservation of human life. That you can practice democracy while at the same time keeping people safe, unlike what you see on the Republican side of the aisle. So this shows people can be done and done right.
All right. Mayor Steve Benjamin, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
God bless you, brother. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
I'm throwing up for the nukes for you, okay?
What's that? Is that the okay sign? What's that little sign you did?
My brother, the Alpha, he would even want me to represent.
Well, somebody in your family has some sense. Somebody has some sense. Because see, you can't wear one of those. I understand. You know the real frat. Go ahead. All right, man. I
appreciate you, bro.
All right, folks. Again, we're here in Columbia, South Carolina, the campus of Benedict College. We're gonna take another shot. So you'll see. So, folks, we have a camera that's going out here. Literally, there are people who are the cars that are on this side over here. There are, and Anthony, give me a shot over there, Anthony. Give me a shot of the cars over there. I just want to give you all a sense of really what's happening out here at Benedict College. So you'll see again that cars all over this grassy area right here, giving you a real good sense of how many people are out here. Folks, there's a line literally going all the way out there. You actually see the line of people who are still trying to get in here. That's the thing. That's the thing here, Avis. That what is happening is there are people who have been apathetic, who have been sitting out. But really, what is happening with Trump, what is happening with the policies has caused people to say, I have got to get off of my butt and get out to vote, and that's what we're seeing.
Absolutely. I mean, the reality is that this is a matter of life and death. I mean, this is not a drill. And when you look at it specifically as these issues relate to African Americans, especially coronavirus, we are disproportionately impacted. We make up 1 out of every 5 people in this nation that are infected by COVID, and we are not 1 of 5 in the population. We represent 2 out of every 5 who actually die of coronavirus. And so it is a life-threatening, debilitating pandemic that is a scourge all across this nation that this administration has made the decision to do nothing about. So we can talk about a whole lot of other issues, and there are a number of issues that disproportionately impact Black people in this election. But I would have to say that literally we are voting for our lives.
On that particular point there, Eugene, again, I think I kept explaining to people, when you saw the intensity during the Democratic primary, that was going to carry over. Now, that doesn't mean all the people are voting for Biden, Harris, or for Democrats. But the reality is, when you look at the polling as it stands right now, Donald Trump and Mike Pence and the Republican Party are playing a massive game of catch-up. You see what's happening with the Senate races in Arizona, Colorado, Maine, Kansas, North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi. They are having to play some major defense, and coronavirus is really the big issue there, and we'll still see explosive numbers, especially in places like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan. And so the failure of leadership on COVID-19, that is going to be to me, that is the defining issue of this campaign.
Oh, it's absolutely a defining issue. It's really, I think it's wild. It's wild as hell that the party of pro-life literally is not doing everything it possibly can to protect life. That's literally what's taking place and happening right now. And look, I think, the election, I think Biden's probably going to run away with this and get very close to 400 electoral college votes. But I think that he walks in there with a very, very strong Senate majority, very reminiscent of what happened in 2008. And this is 100% because of, Team Trump, not caring about the coronavirus, not caring about 230,000 people dying, not caring, just literally not caring. It's not even political. It's just that they just don't care. Like, they're going to have a super spreader event tonight to celebrate, court packing on their end. And people will literally die because they attended that event. That's who we're dealing with. And that's who 8 days from now, people have the opportunity to fire.
Julian, your perspective as well, again, where we stand at this point.
Well, people have to still come out and vote. Biden is leading in the polls, but we can't take anything for granted. In 2016, everybody thought that Hillary had it, and we got surprised that on election night, she didn't have it. So I'm just imploring people to get out and vote. You see the lines, you know that people are interested, and Avis is right. We are voting for a lot. To ask who does our people or corporations? We're really voting to find out whether we can have health care or not. I mean, the health care system is flawed, but Barack Obama did a great job in getting at least the Affordable Care Act through. But now they're threatening to take it away when we really should be trying to get more people under the Affordable Care Act because everybody still is not covered. So I think, even suburban white women, I've seen a couple of features where these suburban white women are talking about they cannot support the antics. And we've had 3 years of antics, 3 years plus of antics. Someone who's alienated our allies, acted like a certified public idiot, and we can just go down the list. And so people are sick of it, even Republicans. That's why the Lincoln Project is so significant. That's why so many, George Conway, Kellyanne's husband, wrote a really great piece in the Post today. It's really funny. But he said if Trump loses, he should leave the country. And that would be a blessing. So I'm just happy to see people out, but I want everybody to come out. It would be so great if we usually get about 60%, less than 60% turnout. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we got 75% voter participation?
Yeah. That'd be awesome. That'd be wonderful. All right. I want to come back here to Columbia, South Carolina. We're going to talk with a councilwoman here. First of all, how you doing?
Great, Roland. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, first of all, I won't call you Tamika, but folks, give me full name and title, so you know. I don't want to be that black.
Oh, no, it's Tamika, but Tamika Isaac Devine, Councilwoman for the City of Columbia.
All right, then. So, I was talking with the mayor a moment ago. We see all the folks out here.
Y'all came out to see comment
again,
tonight? Y'all remember this one?
The reason why is this amount of energy, this amount of attention that we're seeing.
Oh, I think people are just galvanized because they are tired of Trump and they're tired of Lindsey Graham. And right now, there are so many people who understand that staying home 4 years ago didn't work for them. And so not only do they have to come out, but they got to get other people energized. So I know several people who have voted, and they are working every single day to get other people out and vote and making sure that we deliver it, not just for Biden and Harris, but for Jamie Harrison.
Black women obviously are playing a huge role, mobilizing, organizing all across the country. We've seen videos of black folks doing line dances, waiting in line. What I keep saying, people are asking me why did I get emotional when I saw early voting in Dallas is because, again, black folks are saying, look, y'all have put all the kind of obstacles in front of our way. We still are going to do what's necessary to vote.
I mean, here there is a whole lot of disinformation. They've had robocalls telling people that you can't vote. We've got lots of folks happening, lots of people who are being more energized by the disinformation campaigns. And so people are waiting in line for hours. We got DJs out there, we're frying fish, and we're like, okay, it may take 5 hours to vote, but we're going to sit here and have fun while we're doing it.
Last question here. When we talk about this particular race here, no one could predict that Jamie would be this close at this point. What puts him over the top? And are you seeing African Americans who were saying, hey, I'm going to sit this one out, who now realize they got to be in this game?
Yeah, there are a lot of older African Americans. I remember Barack Obama 2008, and there were African Americans who felt like they couldn't vote for him because it would put him in danger. I have now older African Americans who are saying, Jamie is like my grandson, and we tell them they can do anything they set their mind to, so I got to come out to make sure that he's successful. Jamie has gone throughout every single county in this state, and that's where Democrats have made the mistake in the past. They haven't gone to traditionally red counties, but Jamie has gone to all counties. He's talked to people, and I know even Republicans who are planning to vote for Jamie. So we really can bring this out, but we got to make sure that we come out and vote. And if we come and vote, and then he gets some other votes, he can win this thing.
We certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a bunch. All right, folks, I got to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more here from Columbia, South Carolina. And, okay, so y'all, I'm sitting doing double duty to the folks in the studio. Go into our group me. Y'all, I just simply uploaded some drone footage so y'all can see what it looks like out here in Columbia, South Carolina. We're going to try to show that to you for y'all when we come back on Roller Mark Unfiltered. Broadcasting live with Jamie Harrison. Get out the vote rally here on the campus of Benedict College, Columbia, South Carolina. We'll be right back.
You know, in financial services, my committee, for example, I know that we are not covered adequately. I know that there are a few newspapers, for example, that focus on financial services issues who may write something about it, but the average media does not get it. And our newspapers at home don't get it because we're talking about everything from derivatives, you know, to the Volcker Rule, and that's not sexy. And people don't get that. But you know, when you have something like the Volcker Rule, what you're talking about is keeping these banks from taking the money that's deposited in them by the average worker and going out and gambling with it and trading, you know, as these big banks do. You are working oftentimes on issues that deal with, you know, Wells Fargo, for example, to stop them from taking out accounts in individuals' names that don't even know that they're creating these accounts where they're trying to make their bank look as if it's growing so that they'll get a lot more investments in it. So whether we're talking about dealing with the fraud that's perpetrated on the average person by some of the biggest banks and financial institutions in this country, or we're talking about the fiduciary rule that will stop, investment advisors from taking advantage of the average person who wants to get some advice on their investments, and instead of them directing them what's in their best interest, they're only looking for what's in their best interest and how much money they're going to make if they get you to invest in a certain product. That's not written about, and it's not going to be written about, but we just have to do the work that needs to be done to protect people that need to be protected.
Is a mortal, not a god. The members of the Congress, they are mortals, not God. Bowing down is not enough. We will stand up again. We will march again. We will preach again. We will organize again. We are black. We are white. We are Latino. We are Native American. We are Democrat. We are Republican. We are independent. We are people of faith. We are people not of faith. We are natives and immigrants. We are business leaders and workers and unemployed. We are doctors and the uninsured. We are gay. We are straight. We are students. We are parents. We are retirees. We are America. And we're here, and we ain't going nowhere.
Anthony, which one? Hey folks, Roland Martin, welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina, the campus of Benedict College for the Jamie Harrison Get Out the Vote rally. As I told you, over the weekend, I was in Orlando, Florida for the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. They had, of course, their massive rallies all across the state of Florida and across the country. And here's a video that they played at that particular event that spoke to the issue of the power of restoring the rights to formerly incarcerated folks. Watch this.
Our people faced, right, when their lives were actually threatened by the state-sanctioned violence. Being hung and being murdered and burned and bitten by dogs and sprayed with fire hoses, that our people went through that. We had people die on the battlefield, so we can vote.
Black man music, the L stands for long nights and hard fights. On the block with 2 Glocks and I'm known to strike. And the I means isolated and introduced to the crime life. Serving these fiends, making some loot. And the F means I'm falling and I'm losing my mind, but I'm alone to get stronger while I'm doing my time. And then the E means erasing this society rules. And I'm crying in the dark cause I got ghetto blues.
From the streets to the jail to the prison to the hood, 1.4 million of us. We got the keys to the kingdom. I'm talking about freedom.
And my friends, they all left me, guess they thought I would die. But through the grace of the Lord, I can finally fly. Just like your soul leave your body when you deep in your sleep. And we all scars people, but we real unique. And the pressure that you feel when you fight to get strong, I feel it too. And my brothers, we got to hold on, and all my sisters, I'm sorry for the pain we cause, but you know the flex is weak, so we got major flaws.
From the streets to the jail to the prison to the hood, 1.4 million of us. We got the keys to the kingdom. I'm talking about freedom.
And the L for the leaders that be teaching our people. Won't you stop that line, cause the game ain't equal. And the I means ice cream, sweet but it melts. Just like your mother on that crack, but she really won't help. And the F for the father who ain't never been there, cause he been in and out the joint, but he really do care. Got caught up in the system that was built for us. Treated like an animal, so was he years gone, you out. But you sad cause you broke. And your kids full grown, so you sell some dope. 1 year you stayed out, and you back in the fix. You get a visit from your daughter, and she say you ain't fit. So you cry under the pillow, and your body's real cold. Cause you know you're facing life without parole. Looking at the man in the mirror, you a heartless G. Only us can save us, yeah, I'm talking to we.
They done marched so long, they don't hear it.
You don't just get my vote for free.
Yeah, we got the power, so now they gotta feel it.
You have to earn my vote.
We ain't stopping, God is my witness.
Too many people have died for me to have the right to vote back.
This is hard for me to have age privilege.
Bringing the spirit of my ancestors.
One voice, one mind. Let's go. Let's vote.
From the streets to the jail to the prison to the hood, 1.4 million of us. We got the keys to the kingdom. I'm talking about freedom. From the streets to the jail to the prison to the hood, 1.4 million of us. We got the keys to the kingdom. I'm talking about freedom.
You don't just get my vote for free. You don't get my vote because I'm black.
One voice, one mind. Let's go. Let's vote. Let's vote.
All right, folks, welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. So here's the deal. The Jeffrey Lampkin Choir just taking the stage. So we've been talking, and so let's get a little something, a little inspiration from this choir right here. And so let's go to the stage, the Jamie Harrison Get Out the Vote rally. Here we go.
If you're excited about Vote 2020, come on. Yeah. I don't know about you, but this election is so critical and so essential. And I don't know about you, but I'm predicting that Jamie Harrison is going to win the Senate seat. Let me hear you make some noise. So, as you're going to the polls on election day and every day leading up, we want you to carry this jingle along with you along the way. Hey, oh, when the saints, they go to vote. They go to vote. Oh, when the saints, they go to vote. I want to be in that number. When the saints, they go to vote. Oh, when the saints, go marching in. No, 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 no. They go marching in. Hey, I want got to be there. In that number. When the saints, oh, when the saints, go marching in. No, 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 no. Oh, I want, you got to be there. In that number. When the saints, here we go. 1, 2, everybody dance, come on. Listen, you might as well get excited about what's going to take place. Hey, 1, 2, everybody.
Right here, going to go from the stage. We're about to interview Jamie Harrison right now. And so here we go. All right, then. All right, Anthony, we ready? All right, so Jamie, I told you I was coming. I told you I was coming.
I know. Thank you so much, brother, for being here, to be a part of this celebration here, to get the vote out in South Carolina.
There have been, the level of intensity, man, you look out here, it's nighttime. We got all these cars, and they're still coming.
Listen, you can go to a Lindsey Graham rally and fit everybody in the phone booth. This is energy. This is momentum. We're going to win this race.
You have obviously raised a lot of money, and you still having to raise money. But are you surprised that at this point, the race is this tight? Why is it? What is South Carolina trying to say to America?
What we're trying to do, Roland, is to bring hope back. We're trying to rebuild and revitalize communities that have been left out for generations. It's so important. So important that these folks feel like the people who they send to Washington, D.C. will represent them, will fight for them, for their families and their communities. The only person that Lindsey Graham fights for is himself. But the folks know, I know hard times, and I will take that experience and go to Washington, D.C. and fight for them.
Now, you clearly got got Lindsey Graham scared because at the Amy Coney Barrett hearing, he was begging for money.
He's shaking, Roland, and he should be, because he hasn't done his job. He's been there for 25 years, and we still have all of these problems in South Carolina. But we're going to fix it.
Have you been, talk about how does it feel as you travel and you see African Americans, young people, first-time voters responding to your campaign?
It's because they see somebody that looks like them. They see somebody that looks like them that has experienced the things that they have experienced. And that's what's giving them hope that something's different going on. Something's different. And maybe, I can live the American dream too.
When you've gone to barbershops, when you've gone to churches, when you've gone to various groups, and folks have said, why should we vote for you? What are you telling voters of this state?
You know, I tell folks, think about your grandma. Think about the communities you grow up in, where there's no hospitals, where people don't have health care, where the schools are falling apart, where communities don't have broadband. I've lived in all of those communities. I know how important it is to have that type of infrastructure in order to break out so that you can do better for yourself, your family, and your community. And so if they want to change things, then they have to change the leadership. They have to actually have folks who are invested in them and their future. Lindsey Graham is only invested in himself.
Now, we're here in Columbia, South Carolina. You're going to be in Spartanburg on Saturday. I take it every day. It's going to be just constant barrage of pushing folks, trying to get them to go to the polls. Republicans, they say they're going to close strong on Election Day. What say you?
Well, listen, we are seeing record turnout here in South Carolina right now. People are turning out at a pace that eclipses Obama in 2008. It's kind of hard to... Well, apparently I got to get back up on stage. I'll come back out, but I got to get on stage.
I appreciate it, Jamie. Thanks so much, my brother. All right, thanks a bunch. Folks, we're going to talk a little bit later. That's Jamie Harrison. Of course, he is running for the United States Senate here in South Carolina. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, the sight, this is it, the view out here, if y'all can see it from my perspective, literally, the number of cars that are out here, you hear the horns, that are honking out here as well, folks. It is electric here in Columbia, South Carolina. As folks, of course, are doing their best to try to elect Jamie Harrison. I want to go back to my panel, Dr. Julianne Malveaux. Look, you see these things happen in the elections where you have an intensity of people as well. But there is something different, I say, during this election because of what is at stake.
Exactly. I mean, we have an idiot in the House that enslaved people built. He's full of antics, etc. They stole yet another seat from Democrats in terms of the Supreme Court. The list is long. So there is a lot at stake in terms of our economy, our environment, employment. You were talking to Maxine Waters earlier about the financial issues, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. They've tried to basically strip it of all its power. People are sick and tired of Trump. People thought, the Republicans that I know thought that he would clean up his act when he became president. I mean, he's always kind of been a buffoon, but they thought that once he became president, he would act like he had good sense. Well, we can keep hoping, but that's not going to happen. And so they're disillusioned Republicans, disillusioned Democrats, disillusioned men and women, and it's about work. But the excitement, this rally you just showed, Roland, the Jamie Harrison, that brother's he's the bomb. He really is, and I'm really proud of what he's doing. And as Eugene said earlier, the money that Lindsey has to raise is money that's not going someplace else. But Jamie's time enough for Lindsey Graham. He is time enough for him, and we're looking forward to seeing that. It would be amazing if we ended up with 2 black senators from North Carolina, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican. It would be amazing. It would also be amazing. It's amazing that people are coming out. They've got to keep coming out. We can't take this thing for granted. I have never seen this kind of energy. Even when you looked at Hillary and the white women who were pushing, she's got to be the president. They voted for her. The majority of them didn't vote for her. Even her natural base, college college-educated white women didn't vote for her in overwhelming numbers, 52% of them. So this is like, people are just not only sick of Trump, but they're also inspired by Kamala on the ticket. Less so about Biden, but they know that Biden will do a job.
I want to go to Avis Jones to Weaver. I want to go to Avis Jones to Weaver. Julian, 1 second. Julian, 1 second. I want to go to Avis Jones to Weaver. Avis. Julian made the point about the Supreme Court decision today. Again, Republicans have made it clear. It's about power to them. It's about being in control. Mitch McConnell actually said, if they win, they're going to undo everything that we did, but they cannot undo the courts. That has always been their intention. They want to control America through the courts for the next 40 to 50 years. And I think Democrats are finally getting that. We've been yelling and screaming it on this show, on News One Now, Washington Watch for years. Now folks now see what happens when they control the courts.
Absolutely. As you said, this has been a consistent theme on this show, literally for years, trying to explain how critically important it is that we have control over the courts, because this is something that can lead into power for literally decades. You're not just voting for 4 years. You are voting for 40 years when you look at the impact that these lifelong appointments can have throughout the federal judiciary as well as on the Supreme Court. But let me tell you, they are going to win this battle, but they are going to lose the war. Because once again, this is another one of those reasons why the sleeping giant has awakened. The BWR Essence poll that we just released about a week or so found that over 60% of Black women said that this ramrodding of the Supreme Court justice down their throats days before the election actually inspires them even more to go to the polls. And so they're going to win this victory, but I want to tell you, they're going to suffer humiliating defeat, not only in terms of the White House, in terms of the Senate, and I hope that some action will be taken once we have control of all of the levers of power in terms of the two other branches of government, in order to correct some of the imbalance that we'll be seeing in the Supreme Court for years to come.
Eugene, Affordable Care Act. Supreme Court is going to take that up. Folks keep also ignoring. Supreme Court is going to take up a voting rights case out of Arizona that could very well gut Section 2 of the voting rights. And so that's what's really here at play. And so I think all of that, as Kamala Harris said last week in Florida, all of that is on the ballot.
It all is. Look, on day one, you very well can see H.R. 1 passed and signed. On day two, you very well can see a strengthened ACA passed and signed. On day three, well, not literally day three, but day three, and you can see every single major legislative agenda item passed and signed with a blue House, a blue Senate, and a President Biden. I say it all the time. For me as a Republican, I'd much rather spend my time fighting Democrats on economic issues than I'd rather spend the time fighting Republicans on human rights issues. And look, that's where we are right now.
All right, folks. A little bit early, I was telling you, I was giving you a sense of what this looks like. And so, guys, if y'all have the drone footage, go ahead and roll that. Of course, it's nighttime now, but we shot this right before we went live. I just wanted to give y'all just an aerial view of what it looks like being out here at Benedict College at their football stadium here. And so it's a pretty cool look. We were flying in a little bit earlier. Again, I'm telling you, I'm looking out here and I can see the entrance to the stadium. And cars are still coming. This here was about an hour and 25 minutes ago when we shot this video right here, and just wanted to give y'all a sense of, again, what it looks like out here. We are just outside of the stadium here at Benedict College, and that's why we wanted to give you this shot here, what it looks like at the Charles Johnson Stadium here on the campus of Benedict College. It is a massive drive-in rally in support of Jamie Harrison for United States Senate. And so let's do this here. Choir's jamming, so let's go ahead a little bit more from the stage here at the Jamie Harrison Get Out the Vote rally on the campus of Benedict College.
Here we go. We're going home. Oh, the Lord is everything to me. My God is everywhere. God said, I believe it. God said it. I believe it. No. Oh, the Lord is everything to me. Yeah. He said he wouldn't mind comfort me. Oh, the Lord said he would be right there. My God is everywhere. God said, I believe it. God said, I believe it. Here we go. I am standing on the promises of Jesus. Hey, I know he'll never let me down. Hey, God said he would be right there. My God is everywhere. God said, I believe it. God said, I believe it. No. Let's take it home. Here we go. God said, I believe. God said, I believe. Here we go. Columbia, we love you on tonight. Make sure you go out and vote. Harrison 2020. If you love the Lord, let me hear you make some noise.
All right, folks, again, we're here in Columbia, South Carolina, Benedict College, where the Jamie Harrison rally is taking place. Common is going to be hitting the stage shortly to perform. This event is being moderated or emceed by Charlemagne the God. He is here also in support of Jamie Harrison. And so we'll see who's on stage. We'll see. All right. All right, Common is next. Jamie Harrison is next, then Common. So Jamie Harrison is coming up next. So they can take a 5-minute break. So let's do this here. We will take a commercial break. Then we'll come back. Roland Martin, Unfiltered, broadcasted live from Columbia, South Carolina. Back in a moment.
In the 50s, Jerry Falwell, that you mentioned, Pat Robinson, Perkins, Jim Dobson, those are all people of my generation. They were all thoroughgoing, in public ways and in private ways, racist, who said segregation forever, who said Jim Crow laws are the way that we have to live. Jerry Falwell preached this on his old-fashioned revival hour broadcast on Sunday night. That was a national broadcast. Our movement out of the 50s, 55, 59, 60, made them change their story, made them stop preaching and teaching racism. We did it not by talking to them, but through the sit-in campaign, the bus campaign. Bus campaigns around the Southeast, including Lynchburg, Virginia, in which the signs came down. So that stopped them.
I thought I caught my first felony when I was 17 years old. I felt like basically I ain't count. My probation told me, you can't vote, you got a felony. It just made me feel like I wasn't wanted or I wasn't supposed to be involved. My mama told me, like, son, you need to get involved. There's a lot of things going on in the world. Your voice matter. And I'm like, I ain't got no voice. I can't vote. And she's like, oh yeah, yes you can. So I called my lawyers because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I figured out I qualified. And I just feel like, damn, let's do it. To me, it was an accomplishment. Like, damn, like I graduated high school or something. Look what we done so far. It still need to be 10 times better, but you gotta vote. That's what changed the rules. That's to change the laws. I really felt good voting, like, because I was told I couldn't, or I was told I wouldn't be able to clean up or get away from my past, and look where I'm at now. I voted, and I was able to be a part of where I live, which is here at home in America. My voice mattered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina, here at Benedict College, where the Jamie Harrison Get Out the Vote driving rally is taking place. All right, folks, my man, Major, my frat brother, also native of Houston, he dropped a vote video a couple of years ago in 2018, and, of course, it still applies right now. So if we have that, let's go ahead and play it so we give y'all a sense of what it sounds like. All right. Let me know when we have that particular video there. Let's go pull back our panel here. Now, first of all, in a moment, Eugene, Jamie's going to take the stage, and then Common is going to perform out here as well. Vice President Mike Pence is coming here tomorrow to help Lindsey Graham to also push the Republican Party. But what's happening in Georgia, Joe Biden is going to be in Georgia tomorrow. The Democrats, they say they could steal Georgia. Again, to have him go there, it's going to be in two places. He'll be there in Atlanta tomorrow for a drive-in rally. We will be there as well. Also, talking to the campaign of Reverend Raphael Warnock. He is leading in the race with Senator Kelly Loeffler and, of course, Republican Collins. The top two folks will go to a runoff. In the Ossoff-Purdue race, same thing. Lots of candidates. If nobody gets 50 plus 1%, that will go to a runoff. All of the work that Stacey Abrams and others did hitting the ground, tilling the soil is paying off. The fact that 8 days out, Georgia is actually in play, and the Democrats could very well win the state, pick up one or even both U.S. Senate races. That is huge.
It's beyond huge. First and foremost, if there wasn't deep trouble in South Carolina, they wouldn't be sending Mike Pence there. And I mean deep, deep, deep trouble, especially when you're 8 days out from an election, 7 days out from an election. In regards to Georgia, you very well could see on November 3rd, Joe Biden win Georgia, and then turn around a month and a half later, Warnock pop Loeffler and Ossoff pop Purdue. I think Warnock probably is, if I'm betting on one of those two races, I'm betting on the Warnock race. But I think that you probably could walk out of there with both Senate seats in a runoff election because of everything that's going on. Their energy is still going to be on the Dem side rather than the GOP side. GOP is going to be depressed because of all the losses they suffered, because they decided to follow the orange one for the last 4 years. And that's not to mention all the down ballot races, like Rod Woodall being put in place as well.
The issue here, Avis, again, if that is, as Reverend Dr. William Barber has said, if you do the work, it will actually pay off. And so he and others have always been saying, if Democrats want to compete in the South, you got to get in the race. You got to spend the money. You got to till the soil in order to have fertile ground.
That is so true. I've always been so frustrated by some of those on the left who have for years just written off the South. Just assumed that the South was completely lost and never put any time, effort, or energy into the South. When the South, quite frankly, is rising. If you look at the demographic shift that we are experiencing throughout the nation, but then especially in key southern states like a Georgia, like a Texas, If you look at what already naturally exists in a state like a South Carolina, and even Mississippi, I mean, we are seeing shifts in all of those states at this particular moment where once again, the sleeping giant has been awakened. And so I cannot wait to see what actually transpires. And one last thing I have to say that the Republicans understand that. That's why they're going through all of these shenanigans on steroids, trying to make it that much more difficult for people to vote. They are doing everything that they can to undermine the voting power that exists in those states. And so if the Republicans realize it, it's about darn time that the Democrats wake up and realize it too and begin to exploit it. So I'm so happy to see that finally we're beginning to see some movement in that direction.
You got to go out there and vote.
All right, then. Real quick, Julian, your comment, because in a moment, Jamie Harris is going to take the stage. We're going to go to that stage live. So real quick, your comment. Actually, hold tight 1 second. Here we go. We're going back to the main. We're going back to the main stage right now. Jamie Harris is about to address this drive-in rally.
South Carolina, Columbia, what's going on, y'all? Come on, honk a little louder. Let Lindsey Graham hear you. Let Lindsey Graham hear you. Yes. Are y'all ready to send Lindsey Graham home? Are you ready to send Lindsey Graham home? You know, it is so great to be on the campus of Benedict College, a historic college here in Columbia, South Carolina. My friends, I am Jamie Harrison. I'm from Orangeburg, and I am running for the United States Senate. You know, sometimes you got to pinch yourself a little bit because I'm from Orangeburg. I'm a country boy. I ain't used to all this stuff. A bus with my picture on the side, on the stage with Charlemagne the God and Common. My friends, things are changing in South Carolina. The winds of change are blowing, and they are blowing through South Carolina. And that is why on November 3rd, there are going to be a lot of people shocked. I know that there will be some folks who will be looking at what happened with the presidential election. But my friends, the real story of November 3rd, the real story of November 3rd is, oh my God, what happened to Lindsey Graham? And that is because we are going to give him a one-way ticket home to Seneca or to Mar-a-Lago or wherever he want to go. That he has to get up out of Washington, D.C. You know, I grew up in Orangeburg. I was the son of a teen mom. My mom was 16 years old when she had me. She dropped out of school, and it was my grandparents who took care of me. My grandmother had an 8th grade education. She had to quit school to pick cotton, and then she went and worked in the textile plants. My grandfather had a 4th grade education. He worked at a dairy, and then he did construction most of his life. They didn't have a whole lot of education. They didn't have a whole lot of money, but they were rich. They were rich in terms of their values. They taught me the value of working hard, and they taught me the value of helping other people. And my friends, that is what I have done my entire life. This race for the United States Senate, is about hope. It is about bringing hope back to the communities all across the state. Because in order for me to get out of Orangeburg, in order for me to get past those hard times that we had, because my friends, we had hard times. I remember waking up mornings, going to get a bowl of cereal, going to the fridge to get milk, and there was no milk. Not because somebody had forgotten a carton of milk, but because we couldn't afford it. I remember the days digging in couch cushions, looking for a nickel, a dime, a quarter, just to give my grandfather enough to get a gallon of gas to go to work and come back home. I know what hard times is. You all know what hard times is. And when you have hard times, my friends, when you have hard times, you want to make sure that your senator is somebody who's going to give you a helping hand, help you in those hard times. But we have a senator in Lindsey Graham that when you fall down, instead of him giving you a hand up, he kicks you so you can get down lower. And that is not what we need right now in South Carolina, my friends. That is not what we need. We need someone who understands the hardships people are going through and will help them overcome them. That's what a senator is all about. Let me tell y'all about the South Carolina I love. You all know that this is an amazing state with great people. We have good values. We work hard. We know the dignity of hard work. Because you all go up each and every day, work hard to put food on the table for your family. But it seems like our senator doesn't understand the dignity of hard work. Because instead of working hard for South Carolina, he goes golfing with the president. Instead of working hard for South Carolina, he sits on TV with Sean Hannity. Heck, Lindsey Graham hasn't had an in-person town hall in South Carolina in over 3 years. But every other night you can find him on TV. It shows you where we are in terms of the priority scales. Let me make a promise to each and every one of you. When I'm in Washington, D.C. as your senator, I'm going to wake up every day. I'm going to eat lunch every day. I'm going to go to bed every night thinking about how I can improve your life and your family's lives and your community. That's what a senator is all about. And my friends, we are going to make history. You already have started that history-making progress. We've already broken the record for fundraising. This little round-headed boy from Orangeburg, South Carolina, now has a record for raising the most money that any candidate has ever raised in the history of this great nation. But my friends, that's not why we got in this race. We didn't get in this race to break a fundraising record. We got in this race to make history, to send Lindsey Graham home, and to represent the people of South Carolina. The winds of change are blowing, my friends. And in South Carolina, the state that was the first to secede from the Union because of slavery. In South Carolina, this seat that I am vying for right now, this was the seat of Strom Thurmond. This was the seat of John C. Calhoun. This was the seat of Ben Pitchfork Tillman, a man who would go to the floor of the U.S. Senate and talk about the joys of lynching of black folks. My friends, on November 3rd, South Carolina will make history once again, and you all will help make that happen. South Carolina. South Carolina will become the very first state in this nation to have 2 African-American senators serving at the very same time. But my friends, what we have to do is fix the problems that have been here for a long, long time. Too many communities in South Carolina lack hope and opportunity. Too many communities in South Carolina have folks who don't have health insurance. Too many communities in South Carolina don't have broadband. How do we expect our kids to compete with the rest of the world when they can't even connect with the rest of the world? Too many of our communities, my friends, have schools that are crumbling. They have roads that have potholes bigger than I am. Too many folks that Lindsey Graham has left in the dark for far too long, and that will stop on November 3rd. Because what we're going to do, my friends, we are going to close the book on the Old South and write a brand new book called A New South. A new South that is bold. A new South that is inclusive. A new South that is diverse. A new South where all of us are valued. Where we all have voices that should be heard. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, Jamie, I see your signs all over the place. I see your TV ads. I see you on Facebook. I see you on social media. Because, my friends, you've seen Lindsey Graham. Because when you all see me all over the place, he sees me in his nightmares. I am living rent-free in Lindsey Graham's head right now. And it's because of each and every one of you. Because this is what we are going to do, my friends. This is what we are going to do. And then I'm going to introduce Common. You know, there are too many people in this country, in this state, who wake up each and every day and they turn on their TVs. They open their newspapers, they read their emails, and all they see is hatred and bigotry and division. My friends, those folks have given up all sense of hope. But it's incumbent upon us to fight and help them get hope back once again. You know, Dr. King, in his letter from a Birmingham jail, said, "We will repent in this generation not merely for the hateful words and actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence of the good people." It's time for the good people in this country to stand up and to say in one unified and clear voice, enough is enough. Enough is enough with the hatred. Enough is enough with the bigotry and division. Enough is enough. And then, my friends, we will live up to the motto here in South Carolina. While I breathe, I hope. While I breathe, I hope. But for the next 8 days, I'm going to change our motto just for a little bit. Because in order to bring hope back here to South Carolina, we got one more step we got to do. Instead of just breathing and hoping, y'all, we got to vote. So the motto for South Carolina, the motto for all of you over the next 8 days is, while I breathe, I vote. Because that is how we bring hope back to South Carolina. That is how we bring hope back to Columbia. That is how we bring hope back to America. My friends, thank you for standing with me. Thank you for fighting with me. Thank you for bringing hope back to this great state. And my friends, it is indeed my pleasure. It is indeed my pleasure. You know, when this brother called up and said, "Listen, Jamie, we want to help you." And we said, "Yeah, we need all the help we can get." He said, No, I want to come and I want to help you. We will come and do a concert. I'll bring people all around and we will help you. You already saw South Carolina's own Charlemagne the God. And you know how amazing he is. Well, it is indeed my pleasure and my honor to welcome to the stage a brother who not just talks about hope and change, but his life is a testament to hope and change. He's an amazing artist, award-winning artist. But you know what? He's a heck of an activist. And he understands that our better days are ahead of us and not behind us. Y'all, give us South Carolina, Benedict College, or Columbia, South Carolina, welcome to my friend, Common. Give him some love, y'all. Give him some love.
Take this audio. Take this audio.
South Carolina, Benedict College, Jamie Harrison.
Thank you, brother.
I start this first in the name of the Most High God, just thanking God for being here in South Carolina tonight. As Jamie Harrison was talking about hope, I couldn't help but feel hopeful, knowing that this brother is running for office and will be the senator in South Carolina. Because it's individuals like Jamie Harrison that make me have faith in our system, even in changing the system. Because he is someone who I said, man, I want to show up and come out and support you, because people need to know that we have people that's running for office that represent us, people that will stand up for us, people that know that we have been through a lot in this country and the history of this country ain't been right, but they ready to correct it.
And it ain't for me about a party. I'm with this party. I'm with the people's party. But I support great people. I support leaders who should be leaders. I support people who act in the ways that God would create us to act. And that's acting humane and loving toward individuals, listening and caring. So I say all that to say, I know all of us here already know what's up with Jamie Harrison. And I thank my man Charlemagne the God, that king there, because he the first person that told me about him. But I want to make sure y'all go out and spread the word to everybody about Jamie Harrison and make sure everybody is voting up and down that ticket, South Carolina. Let's go. We're in Columbia. We here to do it. We here to change the world. Let's do it, y'all. Justice and justification. We trust in God, but can't trust in the nation. The cusp of generations, searching for ventilation. The 2020 vision is any indication of where we are, where we've been, where do we go? American, illegible. My rights are being left behind. In question times, they say invest in minds. I'm trying to rest my mind. Oppressed, be pressed to find stories about my kind, a suggested crime. Many holler about justice reform, but won't put dollars where the hustler's born. You know our politicians, they love to perform, acting and singing that government song. How you love America, where you loving it wrong. We the people are becoming reborn, yeah. South Carolina, we here. Elastic winner in America. It's more content than it is character. Truth is, we staring at a derringer. Always is the barrel that's staring us. We got wrong and cross rivers. Stolen souls and lost fingers told by top rivers. Moving on the people, we take God with us and recreate equal that'll outlive us. Deliver to this earth with authority. I never thought of myself as a minority. Cultural invites so far left with all rights. I'm from that Bob Marley party, everything will be alright. This ain't all life matters, but you pay it no mind when black light shadows. I know this light at the end of the struggle. Revolution and love is like a couple. Stand up. South Carolina, there's a place in this world. There's a place in this world. For me and you. Stand up. How many of y'all feel you got a place in this world right now? Let me hear your horns. How many know we got a place in this world right now? Now is the time we have a place in this world. Yes. Hey. So South Carolina, wherever we go, and wherever we come in peace. They talk about us rioting, but we come in peace. I say, we don't really want no struggle. No struggle. Tell me if you down with the struggle. All you really want to do is cut me down. Like that, we say peace. We don't really No trouble. Tell me if you down with the struggle. All you really wanna do is staring into the darkness like Marcus. Bobby, I'm an artist. Respect to the goddess. Some say I'm too modest because I'm the hardest. On this path to progress, there's been carnage. Regardless, this is a harvest for the world to harness. Elders' dreams, creators' promise. Being free is like paying homage. I've been on that piece like Dalai Lama. College was between slowly in college. The knowledge I got it because niggas was valid. People had to pull it, the bullet or the ballot. It's like the parable of the story of the challenge when my people took your paper with no margin, turn the ghettos to gardens. Like my infinity through stages of life, the world's my Wembley. I MC from the point of entry of peace. Some find it go through the paper routing, and some find their peace through praise and shouting. Some find their peace through pulling the shades like Malcolm. I found my peace making these albums. We don't really want no trouble. Tell me if you down with the struggle. All you really want to do is they don't like you. Come on, you say peace. We don't really want no trouble. No trouble. Tell me if you down with the struggle. All you really want to do is I leave that down. So we don't love. Hey, we said we didn't want the right cause. Hey, we want the big line. Want peace, want respect. And tell them say we blessed. You know I said that today. I said we blessed. Tell them say we blessed. I said we blessed. Hey, I said we yeah. We don't really want no trouble. With the struggle. What? Say what? Hey, peace. No trouble. With the struggle. South Carolina. DJ Joey. Where my people at? Where my people at? South Carolina. Where my people from the north part of Columbia, south part of Columbia. Where my people from South Carolina at? Because wherever I go, I stand for my people. I stand with my people. I represent my people. I live for my people. Yeah. I do it for my people. Yo, this is street radio for unsung hero. Riding in the Rego, trying to stay legal. My daughter found Nemo, I found a new primo. Boom, you know how we do. We do it for the people. Struggle of the brothers and the folks. Lovers of the dope. Experiments to discover hope. Scupper for notes. Rougher I wrote, times was harder. Went from rock to starter. Voice of a martyr. White folk focus on dolls and yoga. My people on the low and trying to ball and get over. Lyrics are like liquor for the fallen soldier. The bounce to the house. It's all our culture. Every day we hustling, trying to get them customers. Law, we ain't trusting them big ones. We lusting them. Sick and tired of punching it. I look on the bus at them. When I see them struggling, I think I'm touching on my people. SC, I'm talking about my people. To my people, I'm talking about my people. I can't live with Jamie Harrison because we my people. This is street radio for unsung hero. Riding in the Rego, trying to stay legal. Amoye found Nemo, I found a new primo. LeVan, you know how we do it for the people. People said that I was sharp on TV at the Grammys. They tried to India, I really got backstage, bumped into Stevie. He said no matter what, the people gon' see me. I can't leave rap alone, the streets need me. Hunger in their eyes, what seem to feed me? Inside peace mixed with beef seem to feed me. Nobody believe, I believe me. Now I'm on the rise, doing business with my guys. Business realized, music affect the lives. A gift from the skies, to be recognized. I'm keeping my eyes on my eyes on my eyes on the people. Where my people at? Yo, I'ma let my man Boom on the bass. Boom, speak to your people. Boom, Bishop, speak to the people. See, the one thing I love about hearing what Jamie Harrison was talking about was like saying every family deserves to eat. We all deserve opportunities. We deserve food for life. So that means it don't matter what color you are, or what neighborhood you come from. We all deserve to be eaten and eaten well. Because it don't matter, man, if one side of town is living good and the other side of town ain't, then something is wrong. Or if I got money and you don't, I feel like I ain't got it. Because if I see you hurting, I see you starving, I see you trying to get food, then it's my duty to put food on your plate too. And that's the only way we gonna work and make this thing work in South Carolina, to Chicago, to wherever you may be from. We gonna feed each other. It's the food, y'all.
I could make it right if I could just swallow my pride. But I can't run away from my gun away. You can't run away. I can't let it ride.
Yeah, come on.
No, no, not tonight. See, I can't run away from my gun away.
I walked in the crib, got 2 kids and my baby mama late. So I had to did what I had to did, cause I had to get. I'm up all night, getting my money right, into the blue and whites. Now the money coming slow, at least a brother knows slow motion better than. You love to hear the story again and again about these young brothers from the city of Wynn. Like juice and gin in the city we blend amongst the hustle, titties and skin, 50s and rims. Y'all know the spree wells and trucks is detail. Heartless females that wanna ride in them. Got the Southside venom, raw highs and denim. Your minds collide with them, a system that drives victims. We living it, my man in the fast lane pivoting. On the block, white is selling like Eminem. On the block, it jump off like Kim and them. On the block, it's hot, you can feel it in your skin and it. Shorties get the game with no instructions, true assembling. Eyes fighters seem like the fighters dimming them. Call my man Cuzzo like I'm kin to him. He trying to stay straight.
So I had to give what I had to give, cause I had to give. I'm up all night, getting my money right into the blue and whites. Now the money coming slow, at least your brother knows slow motion better than. Hook your horns. I can't hear you. Yeah, come on. You can't follow me. Woo! Yeah. No, not tonight. See, I can't run away. Put my gun away. You can't follow me. How y'all feeling out there? Yo, how you feeling out there? I can feel it in the South Colombian air. Yeah, it's right there. I feel it in South Carolina. I'm a rhymer. I be the designer. I can find a way to rewind and then take my time to understand. Yo, we got a plan. Yo, I listen to the Son of Man. When it come to this, yo, I used to do the running man. I did that dance. Now I take a chance to run forward. The forward is more words. Explore words. For those in their cars, look at the stars and understand that boy Calm got bars. But it's more than these bars. I take it to the legend. Type of thing that goes down. I bring it from the heavens, and I'ma keep stepping. If you are American, you gotta be down with who? Jamie Harrison. They said it didn't rhyme good, but still I find good things in my mind. Guess my time's good, time's understood for you and yours. Listen to the sweat as I sweat through my pores. Coming through the doors, always been raw. I told y'all I'm just out just for more. Plus I explore. I told you I had to do it. I get into it cause I love that real soul music. Came down to SC, just people wanna test me, but that's okay, but stay sexy. I ain't trying to be so sexy, I'm trying to rap it. Rap and understand common sense, I'm grafted to be the dopest. Better yet, I got this natural, actual facts when I come with the raps. And I can tap into this place down here. Common sense, I guess the sound so clear. I let you know, yo, these are the words. I hope you're all voting on November 3rd. Or better yet, you should understand this is worldly. I hope you even voted, or maybe voted early, cause we need that when it comes to this. This is the style, yo, my word is born. I see you with your lights on and your honking horns. This is how it be, yo, the style will be hard. This is what I'm telling you. Shout out to Charlemagne the God. He from South Carolina too. I see think about me and my designer crew. I designed it with my man named Kareem and Sharky. And this is how it be, yo, listen as I spark the things tonight on October 26th. I can shoot the gift and then I'm here to uplift. You can just riff with the boy named Boom, but you can't even try to get into the Zoom and understand why we just gotta take room to gloom and let them know how we just bloom and blossom. I can rock them, I got on them and got into the option. Conscience was in a corner. I came from the corner, I came from the door, I came from a place that they said was so raw. That's the place, Chi-Town, that's my town. I'm from Illinois, I build and destroy with the B-boys and B-girls. Yo, we gon' re-world this whole place. We ain't looking at them old faces thinking that's the new way to go. I'm thinking something, yo, I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to be here right now, right in SC and right on T-Notch. You know I rock spots, and this is hip-hop, and better yet, you know, and this is the type of boy that came from the go. Shout out to the mayor. Yo, I seen you right there. The man said, yeah, yo, we all just prepared to do this thing. Common sense got a dream, and that's gonna be the shorter like Martin Luther King. We gon' put it all together, and then we gon' weather the storm and understand we changing the whole form of a nation. This is like anticipation. People out there, no time for waiting, no time for debating, no time for lying. Understand people in the skies just crying, cause they see people dying, people lying, and I ain't relying on nobody, it's science. Like the boy from South Carolina that be dunking. When it comes to this now, who will confront him? Can't nobody punk him, telling you who I am. Common sense, yo, I used to go to fam, and I'm sitting it for your benefit. We can do this at the college that they call Benedict. Yo, this is how it be. The style is free, yo, I love it when the cameras just wanna smile at me, but I about this camera shit. This is for the action. Understand, I ain't even the main attraction. Yo, let the people keep staring in. I told you once again, Jamie Harrison presented. Common sense, yo, I get offended. I can't forbid it. I always came to win it. That's why I roll with winners, not beginners. This is how it be, cause it's all up in his balls. I
I know the damn laws. I can come through and the boy trick stars. Told you, even in Nigeria, let's stop SARS. And even after that, yo, we gon' keep with the bars. And say this world, yo, this world is ours. This is how it be, yo, I'm looking at the stars again. No, it's the type of play that I set. Conscious, yo, I always been a lyrical threat. I just made a bet. I couldn't go no more, but that's okay, cause I'm still like flowing. It's like that, y'all. Yeah. It feels good to be here. Yo, and as we make sure we all are eating, our families are eating, one of the things that's been giving me most hope is our children. When I listen to the way our children think and they take in things, and it reminds me of the Bible verse that says, those who really want greatness need to receive the kingdom like a child, humble and open-minded. So I want to dedicate this next song to when I see our young people, I always just remember how great they are, how beautiful they are, how wonderful they are. And we just grown kids, y'all. We just grown kids. But I tell the kids, don't forget who you are. I love you, baby. I pray these words, they hug you, baby. Look into the mirror, say I love you daily. Remember your light when the world seems shady. You born with it, adorn with it. A gift to this world, gon' give it. Fearlessly made, no need to be afraid. Angels are with you, the path is laid. Waiting thoughts of you being a star. Truly you'll shine by seeing who you are. Reflections of you, reflections of me. Your beauty, more than any eyes can see. It's for the children, y'all. Yes, it's for the future. Yeah.
Baby, so marvelous.
Yes.
No one like you to look around. Yeah, you too strong to turn around.
Yeah.
Who you are. Don't forget who you are.
Yeah.
Don't forget who you are. Don't forget who you are.
And as we move forward, we always must honor. We honor our women. We honor black women. We hold them high. Yeah, yo.
There are times when you need someone.
Yeah, come on.
I will be by your side.
Yeah. Let them know about the light now. We go.
There is a light that shines.
How it shines.
Special for you and me.
Yo. I never knew a love like this. Gotta be something for me to write this. Queen, I ain't seen you in a minute. Wrote this letter and finally decided to send it. Signed, sealed, delivered for us to grow together. Love has no limit, let's spin it slow forever. Your heart is weathered by what studs did to you. I ain't gon' sorrow, I did it too. Cause of you feelings I handle with care. Brothers recognize your light, they can't handle the glare. Hey, I ain't the type to walk around with matching shirts. Your relationship is epic, I'm at your work. Be the one that make you happiest, hurt you the most. The end is near, come close to the most high. Regardless of what happened on him, let's rely. Yo, sing it, y'all. I can't hear you.
I will be by your side.
Yeah. Let them know about the light, y'all. Come on.
There is a light that shines.
How it shine.
Special for you and me.
Yo. It's kind of fresh. You listen to more than hip hop. Catch you in the mix, so beauty the thrift shop. You shit pop when it's time to. Thinking you fresh, suggested beats I should rhyme to. When I'm lost, I try to find you. You know to give me space when it's time to. My heart's dictionary defines you. Love and happiness. True really is hard, try to practice abstinence. Time we committed, love, it was real good. Had to be for me to arrive, it still feel good. Sex ain't gonna keep you, but as my equal is how I must treat you. As my reflection of light, I'ma lead you. And whatever's right, I'ma feed you. Yo, tick a lie, tick a lie, tick a lie, tick a lie. Yo, I tell you the rest when I see you. Peace. Sing it, y'all. Say what? Come on. I will be by your side. Yeah, yeah. Let them know about the light, South Carolina. There is a light that shines. How it shines. Special for you and me. Tick a lie, tick a lie, tick a lie. Tick a lie, tick a lie, tick a lie. Tick a lie, tick a lie, tick a lie. Yo, I tell you the rest when I see you. Peace.
I'll be right back. Pause, there you go. Yeah, I switched the shot. You got it?
Give thanks, y'all. And we do this next song in honor of our ancestors and all those before us. We honor them. And as we think about what the vote is, we honor the fact that women and men fought, were hosed down, some died, they strategized, they planned, they stood on their feet, they cried so that we could vote. Now, if that don't motivate you enough, let's at least pay honor to that. And know that what we do right now will be the legacy, the spirit, and the opening for our children and generations to come. But I honor John Lewis, I honor Dr. King and Diane Nash, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ella Baker, and some names that I don't know, but they all fought for us to be able to say, hey, we vote. For us to have a mayor, a black mayor. For us to be able to say, hey, our new senator is Jamie Harrison in South Carolina. So we dedicate this to all those that came before us. And we know that they were doing the work of the Most High God. So not only do we give them glory, but we give God the glory. We give the Most High God the glory because the God is working through us. Yes.
It will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, 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 glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all, just ain't specific enough. One son died, the spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Columbia with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop and we ran up. One day,
when the glory comes, it will be ours.
South Carolina. Yes.
Oh,
One day.
when the war is won, we will be sure.
So sure.
We will be sure. Oh,
Salvation now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, power was the people. Enemy is lethal when King became Rico. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a raw ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win a war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders, young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory. One day. My man Sharky on guitar. Isaiah Sharky on guitar, ladies and gentlemen. Lucina Abdul Kareem on vocals. Paris Jones on vocals, BJ. Boom Bishop on the bass. Ali Brown on the keys. Ha, ha. Kareem Riggins on the drums. DJ Johnny, our music director. South Carolina, we thank you for being here with us. We celebrate the vote. Roland Martin, respect, brother. We thank the Magic Justice team. Feel strong on the sound. JB on the lights. Tim on the monitors. Josh on the road management tip. Imagine Justice. Yeah, Tamara, Mike Black, Sean Glover. We call him Black. Yeah. Shout out to R on the road manager assistant tip. Yeah, Jill Maddox. Haha, yeah. Shout out to Charlamagne the God. Everybody out there in the cars, let me see your signs up. Lights your lights up. Yeah. We thank y'all for voting. We thank you, Jamie Harrison, for standing for the people. We thank you, God, for being here today. And to you be the glory.
Well, folks, that was common here at Benedict College, Columbia, South Carolina, closing out this drive-in rally for Jamie Harrison. It is 8 days until Election Day. Next Tuesday, folks are still voting all across this country, here in South Carolina as well. Folks have been going to the polls. We, of course, I reached out to Jamie and said, hey, we want to bring Roland Martin Unfiltered to South Carolina to help you out, to showcase your campaign. And so they invited us down, made it possible. So we appreciate Jamie being with us, Steve Benjamin being with us, the Councilwoman Tamika being with us as well, Dr. Rosalind Artis, of course, the president of Benedict College, being with us as well, folks. Again, it's amazing. Anthony, we can get a shot. Anthony, let's get a shot here again. You're seeing all these cars here. They have been jam-packed here all day. Folks began arriving at 5 p.m. That was almost 3.5 hours ago. And so this is, look, one of the reasons why I'm so excited.
Listen, South Carolina, thank y'all for coming out tonight.
I'm so excited, folks.
Make sure y'all go out there and vote for my man Jamie Harrison.
We created Roland
Salute
Martin
to my man Common for performing. Salute to Roland Martin. Roland, I see you out there.
We wanted to be able to have
y'all make sure y'all go out there and vote for Jamie Harrison. I go by the name of Charlamagne the God, 843-803-864 all day.
Our voters. That's why we are here, and folks, look, this is why we're doing it. Of course, we were in Orlando, Florida, for the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition for their voting event that took place on Saturday. Of course, tomorrow, we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, for Reverend Raphael Warnock. Of course, he is running for the United States Senate. In addition to that, Vice President Joe Biden is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia as well. We'll be live from there. We're still trying to figure out, is Warnock going to have a separate event? More likely he's going to be at the Biden event, so we'll be there as well. Then, of course, on Wednesday, we're going to be actually, y'all, everybody who's in the Detroit area, you are invited to come on out to the 14th District Democratic Office. Let me read it for you. The 14th Democratic District Office. We're going to be at a social distance event broadcasting outside. They said, hey, they wanted me to be inside. I said, no, we're not people to be here. Grab that microphone right there, Charlamagne. And so, folks, I told them, I said, we're going to be there for this event. And so, and then, of course, I'll be interviewing Senator Gary Peters. Sunday, Jackson, Mississippi, we're going to be broadcasting the GOTV rally for Mike Espy's running for United States Senate. Before we go, let's go to Charlamagne the God, South Carolina native. What's up, man?
What's up, my brother?
All good, my brother. We got the camera on him. Make sure we're straight. We good? Yeah, all right, then. Why did you want to come out here, man? Give your support for Jamie Harris.
I mean, because, I like a lot of the policies that Jamie Harrison is pushing for South Carolina, but also the fact that he has a chance to make history. And honestly, Lindsey Graham scared the hell out of me the past couple of weeks. When Lindsey Graham made those comments about the good old days of segregation and saying black people. Yeah, exactly.
We don't joke about that.
Get on up. All this is together, man. That's just the extension of the message we see coming out of the White House. So I was just like, Jamie, I've been helping him a little bit, but I'm like, let me come out here and put some real support behind him.
Well, same thing here. I hit him up and I said, look, I've only traveled one time since COVID kicked off in February. That was to go vote in Dallas to see my parents. So I was like, all right. So I called him, Warnock. I called Espy and said, yo, we'll be there. So we're going to be in all those places this week, man.
Absolutely.
Doing a show. Like I was just telling, I said, this is why I created this, because we need to have our own platforms raising our folks'
Absolutely.
voices.
That's when they told me. They was like, Roland Martin is here. I said, Roland Martin? I said, Roland ain't in no Columbia. And they was like, yes, he's here. I'm like, where? And then you text me. I'm like, damn, well, Roland don't be playing.
No.
Roland do not be playing at all.
No, bro, so no. We here. We got the whole setup.
Absolutely.
We've been live streaming. Look, one of the things that's interesting, the last couple of weeks been crazy. I interviewed Ice Cube. You got 50 Cent talking about taxes. John Sally came up there, and I had to text John Sally. I was like, John.
What did John say? I missed that
John
one.
said Trump was the only one with a black plan. I was like,
that's not true.
John, the platinum plan is one page. I said, it's one page.
But that's not even true.
I said, John, call me first before you give an interview, bro.
Yeah. I wish, and listen, and I love what all of those brothers are doing just because it's good to see black men politically engaged. But get with the experts. Use your influence, use your platform to get with the experts. I love what you did with Ice Cube connecting him with Alicia Garza. That's what needs to happen. You know what I mean? I like what Diddy's doing with Wes Bellamy and Mayor Candace Hollingsworth. Get with the people that know what they're doing, and let's all use our collective influence and resources to push. That's it.
We've been covering this thing, man, and the turnout has been crazy all around the country. I mean, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, every place. I mean, Alabama, they're voting like crazy as well. What do you think is fueling that?
Well, I think that people are afraid, and they need to be. And listen, man, I'm one of those people who always feel like they try to get us to vote out of fear, but this is one of those years we really need to be afraid. Like, we got a fascist in the White House. I don't know how to explain that to people any better. Like, literally, our democracy is at stake. And when you see the power that they got over the courts, when they talk about the good old days of segregation, they could really roll back enough of our civil liberties to make that happen.
No, and that's real. I mean, I have been yelling and screaming for the last 8 years. I'm like, y'all, the courts, this stuff is real.
Yes,
And Mitch McConnell said it yesterday. He said, if they win, they can roll back most of what we've done. He said, but not the courts.
Whoa.
He said it.
Whoa.
He went on Sean Hannity last year and said they are purposely appointing white men and young white women 35 to 45 years old. They just voted on a white woman 33 years old, 8 years out of law school, has never tried a case.
Wow.
Bruh, I told my viewers, if she serves as long as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she will be a federal judge for the next 54 years.
And see, they don't play fair. And that's why I don't even understand, like, when Senator Harris, VP Biden gets asked about stacking the court, just tell people why you need to stack the Supreme Court.
No. See, here's the deal. Stacking the court is the right wing phrase. Expand the court.
Expand the court.
See,
okay.
again, though.
Gotcha,
it's just like with Obamacare.
Yeah.
See, I told Obama people, stop. That's their phrase. Call it Affordable Care Act. So when they say stacking the courts, that's their phrase.
Yeah.
In Arizona, guess what the Republicans did? Expanded the court.
Expand the court. Okay.
See, so they've done it, but none of them was, you're stacking. No. When Mitch McConnell blocked 100 Obama judges, he was blocking it for a Republican to be president.
Wow.
In 2016, Obama only got through 8 judges. 100 vacancies were open when Trump became president.
And he filled them all.
Because of Mitch McConnell.
Wow.
All of them.
Wow. Well, that's why I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? It's stories like that is why I'm out here pushing for my man, Jamie Harrison.
Got it. Charlamagne, always good to see you, my brother. Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you, King.
Appreciate it, my brother. Thanks a lot. All right, folks, that's it for us. We're going to be broadcasting again. We want to thank everybody with the Jamie Harrison campaign for accommodating us coming out here, folks. This is all about you. We created this for you. We created this to be able to give our people a platform. We bring it to you straight. You don't have to depend on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Look, y'all, none of them are here. No other black media is here. All of new black media people, none of them are here. The black cable networks, none of them are here. And so this is about us being able to bring our people the content that we need. That's why tomorrow we're going to be in Atlanta. That's why Wednesday we're going to be in Detroit. That's why Sunday we're going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. And that's why on Tuesday we're going to be broadcasting election night coverage 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. And our coverage will be simulcast on iHeartMedia's Black Information Network, where, of course, I do commentaries as well. This is about us controlling the narrative, telling our story and our perspective. I know we had him on short. I want to thank Avis. I want to thank Eugene. I want to thank Julian for being on today's show. I want to thank all of you for watching the show as well. Your dollars support this, okay? Your dollars allow us to travel here, to bring our crew, all of the cameras and all of the equipment and all of these things. And so please, we want you to join our Bring the Funk fan club. We have 13,100 folks, members of our fan club. We want to hit 20,000 before December 31st, 2020. You can support us by going to Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. You can go to paypal.me/R Martin Unfiltered. You can go to venmo.com/RM Unfiltered. You can also mail a money order to New Vision Media, Inc. NU Vision Media, Inc. 1625 K Street Northwest, Suite 400, Washington, D.C. 20006. Again, we want all of you to support what we do. You make this possible. Folks, we've been doing some amazing things. We've got some other amazing stuff going on. It has been phenomenal. I'm telling y'all, I am elated just simply to watch all of this happen, because this is exactly the vision that God gave me in 2018. This is it. For us being able to take this show on the road, for us to be able to go to the places, and for us to be able to bring you these type of stories. It's more than 3,000 of y'all on YouTube right now. Y'all can give right there on YouTube. We support. We thank you all that you do as well. Again, folks, look, tell folks about this. Follow us on YouTube. Click subscribe. Click subscribe on YouTube. In fact, we have now crossed 650,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We started, y'all, 2 years ago. You know, we started 25 months ago with 157,000. We're now, right now, at 650,000. In fact, I'm just going to give you the most up-to-date number. Go to YouTube Studio. We are at 650,870 subscribers on our YouTube channel. And so we thank every single one of you for doing this. Thank you so very much. Shout out to our crew back there in Washington, D.C. I know there's a whole lot of moving parts, so we appreciate everybody who's in our control room. And so I know some of y'all been sending me text messages and tweets. Y'all love the drone footage and how we got that on the show. I told y'all what we do, okay? I told you, we are creating. I need y'all to hear me clearly. We are creating a black media company that will lead to a black digital network where we'll be doing more of this, where we will be telling our stories, where we make the decisions on where we go live from, where we broadcast from. We've restreaming Global Hope Forum over the weekend. We've been doing the stuff with the National Coalition of Black Citizen Participation. Collective PAC, thank you. Black Voters Matter, thank you. Florida Rights Restoration Coalition, thank you. Black Women's Roundtable, thank you. AFSCME, thank you. These are our partners in what we are doing. And so we're looking forward to being in Atlanta, Georgia tomorrow. And so, again, we'll see you there. But listen, you can actually come out to see the show in Detroit on Wednesday. I'm going to be interviewing Senator Gary Peters, the brother who's running for Republican, John James. We called him. We ain't heard from him. That tells you all you need to know on who you need to support there in Michigan. All right, folks, we got to go. We got to pack all this stuff up, and then we got to see y'all guys later. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Holla!